Hey guys, it's your girl Shelbeatzzz coming at you today with a blue smoky eye. I'm giving you daytime, nighttime vibes. This is an easy step-by-step tutorial, especially for my beginners. So if you like what you see, then just keep on watching. Did my brows off camera just so we wouldn't be taking all day with this tutorial, but we're gonna get into this Jaclyn Heal palette. The first color that I'm going to use for my transition shade is the shade Creamsicle, and this is my favorite shade to go in with almost any look. It's a yellow base, but it comes off very, very neutral on the eye, and this is a transition shade for all skin tones. And you are going to blend back and forth in that windshield wiper motion. And the brush that I am using is a fluffy soft blender brush. This is by the brand Lamora, and the number on this brush is 113. You can get this brush off Amazon. It's in like a pack of 5 blending brushes. The next two shades that I went in with are the shades Puder and Pukey, and then I mixed it with the little hunts. Okay, so that's 3 shades. I started with Creamsicle, then I went in with Puder and Pukey, mixed those two together, and then I put hunts right on top of it, which is this dark orange, well, not really dark orange, but this like orangey fiery red shade that you see here. Then I dipped into the shade Hunts, I think it's called. Not Hunts, Jacks, that's what it's called. Jumped into that shade Jacks and the shade next to Jacks. I forget the name of it, but those two mixed together as well in that crease. And those 2 shades are just going to give me some depth in my eye. As you can see, I have hooded lids, so I have to do a little bit more. I have to go over that skin to make the eye look a little bit more open. Then the shade that I'm using on my lids is called Twerk. And this is a pretty royal blue shade. I sprayed my brush with some setting spray first, just to give it that foil look. And I forgot to tell you guys, when I went in with those last shades in my crease, I used a tapered blending brush, and then I went into a flat, what do you call this thing? A flat short shader brush by Jessup, and that brush you can find in a set of like 16 on eBay. I think I paid like $12 for the whole set. Now, don't quote me on prices because I got these a long time ago, but I did get them off eBay. Then you will see me go in with a clean crease brush. Now, this is another one of the Lamora brushes that I was talking about earlier. This came in that set, and this brush is the number 112. And I just go around the edges to blend out those harsh lines, but you want to make sure that that brush is clean because you don't want your shadows to get all muddy. Then I went in with a MAC crease brush, and this is the 226 brush. I took the shade Soda Pop and put it on the outer corner of my eye to give me that smoke look. Now, this shade looks black on camera, but in the pan it's like a deep purple. And you want to take your time when you are using dark shades like this. You go light, then you get heavy with it, because if you go heavy in the beginning, you will have a hard time blending out any mistakes if there are mistakes. So it's best to just go in with a light hand and then go on and do your thing, sis. And as you saw, I dipped in a little bit of that black shade. It's called Abyss. or something like that. Dipped in with a little bit of that, and I just went around that outer crease. Now, I did not want it to get too dark, so you will see me, you know, taking my time, little by little, deepening it up. And I'm taking it like from the outer crease to like my pupil, center of the pupil type deal. Then I went in with another blending brush. Now this is by the brand Jaclyn again, and it just says blending brush on the brush. Now on my brow bone, I forgot the name of this shade. But it is one of the shades at the top of the palette. It's a matte shade. It's like the third one from the top row if you're coming from the left. And I just put that on the brow bone, went back in with that Jaclyn blending brush to make it all flow. I like my mattes on that brow. The shimmers are really pretty, but sometimes I get so stuck on blending that I blend the whole thing off. So I just kind of stay away from the shimmers. Now I'm going in with my e.l.f. Cosmetics mascara, and I don't really get too technical with the mascaras or whatever because I'm gonna pop on some lashes anyway. I am going to take that color Pool Party, and I'm going to put that right in the inner tear duct. And I used a MAC 209 brush to put that in the inner tear duct, and it's kind of like a turquoise kind of shade. I thought it would look kind of cute and will open my eyes up. And then I'm going to pop my lashes on. And so I kind of slowed it down a little bit to show you guys like what it looks like realistically to put lashes on. Now, if you're new to putting on lashes, I will use tweezers because it gives you a little bit more control. The next thing I would suggest is that you let that glue get tacky. As you can see here, I did not let it dry down enough and it was not tacky. So when I put the eyelash on, it kept moving because I was being very impatient. And it'll get clear. I know you see that white glue. It'll get clear. And if I would have waited, it wouldn't have been as white. It would have been kind of transparent. And it just would have been so much easier to put my lashes on. See what I'm saying? Eyelashes still moving around because that glue is not quite tacky yet. But they're gonna be on there. Just give it a couple seconds. You want to pinch them down so that they are not like standing straight up. You want them to look as natural as possible. Then I go in with my Angel Veil Prime. Y'all know that this is my favorite drugstore primer. It's $15, but listen, if you have an Ulta near you, use that $3.50 off of $15 and you good, girl. But it is like my favorite drugstore primer. Here I am getting ready to apply my foundation. I use the Maybelline Fit Me in the shade 355. The brush you see me using is a Sephora brush. This is the number 94. It is a dome diffuser. This is one of my favorite foundation brushes. It literally will have your foundation smooth all over and it evens it out. I also realized with this brush, I don't have to use as much foundation because it evenly spreads the foundation across my entire face. Like, I love that it gives me that airbrush look. Girl, it's flawless. It is worth the investment. And I usually take my time around my brows when I'm using this brush because the head is pretty wide, and there have been times before where I would be rushing and I would just wipe that brow right off when I'm, rushing, not taking my time. So you want to be gentle and you want to take your time. You also want to make sure you get up under that chin. You do not want to mask. Here you see me using my Colourpop No Filter Concealer in the shade Deep Golden. This is number 46. I love this concealer because I don't get that flashback. And guess what, girl? It's only $6. You cannot beat that with a stick. I'm just going to put that concealer, you know, under my eyes. Then I'm going to go down the bridge of my nose and a little bit on my forehead. Most people put a little bit of concealer on their chin as well, but I just don't want to look too, you know, cakey. That's just my personal preference. Like, girl, do what works for you. It's okay on me, but it's just a lot. I like to look as natural as possible. To blend out my concealer, I am using a Sephora Pro Mini Flawless Airbrush brush, and it is the number 56.5. You can use a blender, a beauty blender, or any type of concealer brush. This just happens to be one of my favorite. I like how thick it is, and it doesn't take much work to blend out your concealers. To contour, I will be using my Fenty Beauty Match Stix. I use this shade Espresso to contour. I go under that cheekbone, around my forehead, and then I have to do surgery, honey. So I go in on that nose and make it nice and skinty. To blend out that contour, I use a e.l.f. 103 brush. And this is also another one of my favorite brushes to use to blend out my contour, because again, I don't have to do much work to blend it out. Like, I'm not for pounding my face in, and with this I can just boom boom bow, she's blended. Now I'm bouncing around just a little bit, but to set my concealer, I am using the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder in the shade number 30. It is medium deep. And to put that powder on, I use a Real Techniques brush. It's a contour brush, or I mean, it comes in the blush set, but it is a contour brush. And then to dust that powder off, I use a Jessup powder blush brush. Now you will see me going in with my e.l.f. Cosmetics contouring brush. And you don't have to just use this on your nose. You can use this under your cheekbones as well. I just like to use it on my nose because it's very, very precise. And it gets my nose exactly how I want it. Now y'all know this is my jam that we getting ready to go into. I love, love, love the Anastasia Beverly Hills bronzer. This is in the shade Mahogany. This bronzer, you can go very, very light-handed. A little bit goes a long way. And the brush I'm using to put that bronzer on is one of those Jessup brushes. It is a large powder brush. And you just want to go around the face wherever you cream contour. You want to set that contour in place. And we can't forget about our nose. Got to go back and put that bronzer right on that nose. Then I spray my face with setting spray before I put my highlighter on. That is the NYX setting spray. And the highlighter I'm going to use today is the MakeupShayla highlighter. And I forget the name of it. It'll be in the description bar below. Actually, the name of it is Pose. And this was affordable as well. I think it was like anywhere from $6 to $8 off Colourpop's website. And I'm using a Jessup dual fiber powder blush brush. powders like this, you want to take your time with that highlighter, because let me tell you, once it's on there, it's on there, and you don't want to have to blend out a whole bunch. But anyway, I like to go down the bridge of my nose with that highlighter shade as well and get my Cupid's bow just an incy bit. Here I used the e.l.f. crease brush, and I went under the lower lash line with the shade Jax. And then you will see me go back into my inner tear duct with that same MAC brush to drag that pull side a little bit under the lash line. And again, that was a MAC 209 brush. Then you would just go with that e.l.f. Cosmetics mascara, put that on your lower lashes, and girl, boom, you're pretty much done with the eyes. So I'm pretty much done with the face. Here I'm just gonna mist my face again with that setting spray. And I forgot to blend out my highlight. I always like to go in with a powder brush just to make it look nice and smooth. I don't want that C-shaped line on my face from a highlighter. So I like to blend it out with a powder brush. And here I'm getting off some of that Carmex before I apply my lip liner. I am using a MAC liner in the color Chestnut. For my lips, I am using a matte lipstick by Ruby Kisses in the shade Bare Nude, or the color Bare Nude. This is one of my favorite Beauty Supply Place lipsticks. Like, it's comparable to the NYX lipsticks, and I really like it. Then to go on top of that lipstick, I'm using my NYX Butter Gloss in Creme Brûlée. And y'all know I love me some NYX Butter Gloss. Most of my looks, the lip that I top it off, or the gloss that I top my lips off with, 10 times out of 10 will be a NYX Butter Gloss. It's very rare that I don't use that. Now you are done, sis. Boom. Cat. I see you, girl. I thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know what you think. And I will catch you in the next video.